Good day, everyone. Good morning, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'm once again joined by Brandon Fancher of the Clarion team for our bi-weekly update on the latest and greatest with Clarion OS. How you doing today, Brandon?
Doing good, Brandon. Doing well. I can't complain. We're having fun and we're building. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, happy whatever time it is. Happy fall.
Definitely
for
fall.
those of you in the northern hemisphere.
Right.
It's of course happy spring for you.
That really stuck with you.
Southern hemisphere. It did. I don't know. I always come back to that.
Like even the seasons are not the same depending on what part of the world you're. Yeah.
I was reading an article this morning talking about how time itself isn't fixed. It's affected by speed and gravity. And so, I was reading about the experiments they do where they put a synchronized atomic clock at the top of Mount Everest and then one in a deep valley. And they let time pass and they measure the differences, right? Time moves faster. I believe it's faster for the people on the mountain peak and slower for the people in the valley, right? Or if you're going in the speed of light or near the speed of light in space. Look at this funny this tangent, right? Go to the speed of light in space.
Great.
You're gone for 10 minutes, but people have aged 10 years who are still sitting here going slow back on Earth. It's all relative, right? Even the times and the seasons and it's just crazy.
And we're on track to be the shortest year ever recorded in terms of the rotational speed of the Earth.
No kidding.
We will have completed I'm sorry, not rotational, but the orbit, I guess we're talking. But yeah, this will be the fastest. This will be the fastest year on record.
So how does that work? Does it just keep getting faster and faster, or does it fluctuate?
I don't know. You'd have to look. I'd have to show you on the. I'd go down the spaceweather.net rabbit hole. They do some really cool updates. Yeah, this is more Chris Barnes territory.
Yeah.
But
I'll have to pick his brain on that.
Fun stuff. Yeah, I think it is. No, is it?
If you're watching Chris, I have questions.
Yeah, we all do. Chris has got the info. I think it's the YouTube channel, Space Weather, or Suspicious Observers. Anyway, blah blah blah. Time is not constant. That's our takeaway.
And yet it just keeps on keeping on.
Or like in those moments of extreme, like if you're in a car accident where time slows way down, and in that moment, or you're about to get in a car accident and you see and you remember every single detail. You can remember the expression on the face of the passerby and the way the car rotated, and just every little detail leading up to your encounter.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're in the midst of the familiar. They say that your brain has more time checkpoints whenever you're in new circumstances or you're taking in more information. So anyway, it explains why time is moving so quickly for us in the Clarion team, because we're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun, and the march of time continues, as does our roadmap and our march through our roadmap.
Perfect.
Bring it back in.
I love it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think we can both tangent and we can both reel in, so we're kind of a dangerous combo.
Yeah,
but
kind of play with that a little bit.
I dare you to
EdenOS development update. What's the dare?
Yeah, it's like I dare you to do your EdenOS development update. You beat me to it.
October 26th for some of us. I guess if you live on a different part of the day, past the date line, it might be a different day for you guys. but we're all here, and that's what matters. So, hey, if you're watching this in the future, let's move on.
If someone from the future brought this to the past and you're watching this in the past, that's a possibility too.
It is. Guys, every 2 weeks or every fortnight for some of you, we, number one, show off progress from the last 2 weeks. We discuss what we're working on next, of course, any roadmap updates that we have, and answer your questions if you have any. That, I think, is some of my favorite part of the segment that we do here, is all the questions and comments that you guys bring up. The disclaimer here, right, is that we tend to have a pretty good recollection of the past, but it's very hard to predict the future. And that's just the nature of time, right? And we are going to be making some projections, but we see in part and we know in part when it comes to that future. And so don't take anything that we talk about when it comes to our roadmap as set in stone or fixed. Everything that we discuss is subject to change as we get more information, as our clarity with what we're working together to accomplish in EdenOS is increased and more finely tuned. Things are subject to change, so that's all. And guys, if you are coming into EdenOnEOS and you want more information, maybe you're new to the community or just poking around, wanting to see if this is something of interest to you, check us out at EdenOnEOS.com. You can see what we're doing and get more information in our public wiki at wiki.eoscommunity.org. And of course, if you're a developer and you want to see behind the dev scenes, or maybe even contribute, come to our GitHub, github.com/eoscommunity/Eden. We do have a little Kanban project board there. You can lodge an issue if you have any issues, preferably about Eden or the EdenOS software, or our development efforts. And then, guys, if you want to fork this and try to spin up your own front end into the Eden community, or spin up your own Eden community for that matter, it's all there. It's all open source. Do it. And lastly, of course, we welcome, in fact, we covet community contributions to the work that we're doing here. There is an Eden Dev Telegram channel where we all hang out. So if you're interested in that, ask in the comments, and we can connect with you there. Anything to add?
Well, I guess just that there seems to be a push to hang out on Discord now. So there's an Eden, or there's an EOS community Discord, which might be worth checking out. Seems like a little more organized and I mean, for those of you who, like me, fear the infinite multiplication of communications mediums, I sympathize with the fear, but maybe we'll find a nice happy ground on Discord, and we can start trimming the fat in some other areas. That is my hope.
I like Discord. I really do. I'm a big fan. But we'll see. Hopefully we can coalesce around something that works well for everybody.
It's growing on me.
Yeah. Cool.
Back to the sun and the passage of time. Christopher Barnes says, the sun. Its magnetic influence, basically, is what affects the length of our year.
Okay.
There you go.
So if you're in a grand solar minimum, you're going to maybe have a faster year, and then is that what we're talking about?
Well, let's not go too much. Let's not.
Gosh, I could. I don't know where I am. Off somewhere else here right now.
That's a separate podcast, but we'll get there.
Guys, you've seen this before. V01 was about community formation. We delivered on that. V02 about running our first on-chain election with real funding. And that was done on October 9th. And we are now in kind of this middle area between V02 and V03, which is our retrospection and laying our groundwork for for more features that are to come. And so yeah, that's what we're doing. V03 will be about enhanced selections and accounting, and we're actually eyeing tightening up our Zoom integration. Of course, bringing more transparency into the accounting and the movement of funds, and more options with regard to handling the funds in the community as well. Yeah, I think that we could really improve the experience around elections, and getting on the call together, and like the Zoom call and recording and all of that with a tighter Zoom integration. So that's something we'll explore. Oh yeah, and we do have, of course, in the roadmap, facilitating community operations, and then more Edens. More Edens is something that is gaining in priority as of late, I think. There's some right now, well, we'll say the Chinese community right now is looking into stepping up or setting up their own Chinese EdenOS contract, and starting a Chinese-speaking Eden community. I think that's amazing. But really, we'd love for this to be a one-step kind of, or a one-stop shop, where you go and you fill out the information for the new community you're setting up, you push a button, and boom, you've got a new community. I think that would be amazing. So those are things that we're eyeing as well.
That would be amazing. Sign me up.
Yeah. V02, elections and funding. Success there, just a recap, we delivered on periodic elections every 6 months. You can opt in, opt out of elections. People are randomized with Bitcoin entropy into different groups. Everybody gets Zoom links to join and to discuss, to come to consensus. Of course, on-chain voting, video uploads, funding, seeing your representatives, that's all there and in the UI. And we are firmly now in this retrospection and groundwork phase. So we're gathering and distilling election feedback. What worked well, what didn't work well, what are our opportunities, etc. What should we improve? We are doing a lot of work on our code base right now. So we are working to refactor some of our more complex code around RPC queries, and move that over to a very much simplified model where we query the microchain data that exists in the browser. We're already seeing some UX improvements around that, which I'll give you guys a sneak peek into. But yeah, it's about simplifying the code base, increasing our testing, and making sure that we have a really strong foundation upon which to build all these new features that we're looking at. And there are other things like easing resource issues and signing, right? We love Anchor, but maybe not everything has to dump you out into Anchor to sign. Maybe things can be signed in the browser safely, some things, right? And yeah, and we'll get into some more of this here in a second. Look at this, retrospection and groundwork. So since we last spoke, we did extend the election video upload window all the way up until last Saturday, which was 2 weeks from the beginning of the election, instead of 2 days from the beginning of the election. We figured that gives everybody a couple of weekends to get their video uploads in, and it did help. As of this point, now we're not accepting new video uploads, but all but one of the groups, we had like 43 plus groups, something like that, all but one got their video uploads in, and that's great. And other than that, we are working on right now prioritizing our new features based on the feedback that we've gotten from the elections and the experience that everybody had. I already mentioned the microchain refactors that we're doing, more tests. We have something else that's cool around the testing that we're baking up. We are supercharging our CI/CD process, or our automated build process, with the ability to stand up fresh ephemeral chains to better facilitate and control testing, right? So every time we issue a PR or we do a merge, our build system kicks in, and with every commit, it kicks in and it runs a set of tests. But so far, it's been running those tests against the contracts deployed on the WAX testnet. Well, the problem there is that if multiple tests are running at the same time, they can step on each other's feet, right? Say a test needs to stand up a new election in a certain state, and then a new test starts at the same time that needs an election in a certain state. You can't have two elections running simultaneously in one contract. And the tests, by their very nature, modify the state of the community. And so in this model, using some really cool tooling that the Clarion team has been pioneering, we are able to quickly spin up a chain, deploy the contract, induct a slate of members, run invitations and inductions in that way, and test to make sure everything's working right, set up an election in a certain state, and run the election in various permutations thereof, assert that everything is working right, and then at the end of the test, tear it all down. And if another test starts up at the same time, it just sets up a different one, right? And it runs it that way. So that's going to be really critical for our ability to safely iterate in a reduced risk sort of way. I guess that's what safely means, right? To safely iterate and to continue to release new features at what we hope is light speed.
It seems like this new tooling or for ephemeral, what did he call it? Ephemeral blockchain, ephemeral chains. I love that. Yeah. It seems like this would be of benefit to other groups working to develop smart contracts on EOS.io. Is there any plans to, like, I mean, I'm sure it's open source already, but any plans to kind of make this a discrete module that people can borrow and easily deploy for testing?
Yeah, a big piece of it is now, and gosh, the name of this piece is escaping me at the moment. But a big piece of, like, Todd Fleming has been pioneering a toolkit for EOS.io testing, a whole test framework, and we are automating on top of that. So that framework is out there and it's available, and we encourage you guys to take a look at it if you're interested. Join the Eden Dev channel and Telegram, and Todd will be certainly willing to answer any questions that you have about that. I know it's been a topic of discussion in some of the other EOS.io developer channels as well, so ask there too. Todd is very active. But I imagine that at the very least, we're going to have some Violet Garden articles coming out on how we set up our CI/CD environment and how that's working for us. We need to really start using it. So we're in the process of building it. We need to use it, see what's working, iterate, and go from there. But and look, all this is open source. The PR, there's PR open right now. If you're interested, go look at it in our repo. You can see how we're putting that together and leveraging that toolkit. It's pretty neat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yet another benefit that the Clarion OS team is bringing back to the EOS and EOS.io community.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things we're building out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
We're building them and then eating our own dog food, and I think that's how the best products, right, come to be. You build something because you need it, not because you think it's a cool idea, and then you use it and you iterate. Maybe you throw it away and rebuild it a couple of times. I don't know, and then you have something that isn't helpful just for you, but for everybody. So, overdue UI enhancements. So we should be releasing this today, actually. community or members, infinite scroll, member search, and better UI for loading profile images. I'll give you guys a peek into that in just a moment. But yeah, we are trying to bring some enhancements to the UI too. And a lot of these enhancements are enabled by the under the hood refactors that we're doing, the simplifications that we're doing. Member search, yes, we've needed that for a while. It was funny, I think it was Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Dan was talking in the Eden members Telegram channel, and he was trying to find a specific Eden member, and he chimed in, man, we really need community search functionality. And Todd Fleming piped in with the PR that I had put together and merged already at that point. It was hot off the presses. Dan wasn't aware of it, so he said, that's my kind of feedback, he said.
Oh, that's what that was referring to. I saw that comment.
Was what I was referring to, yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of turnaround was really, yeah. Wow.
So
asking you shall receive.
Maybe, we do see it in the future. I don't know. Maybe we, all right. Let's move on.
I want it so that I just think of a member and then their profile appears on my screen. Is that in the pipeline?
No comment.
Okay. I figured you'd say that.
Guys, I'm going to put this up here. We are working on public community treasury ledgers, public member contract ledger. Basically, you go to the site, you see all the funds, how they're flowing, where they're moving, to whom they're moving, just detailed accounting, right? This is built on top of blockchain, on EOS.io technology. And that enables us to build with integrity by design, right? To bake integrity into this system. And that's what we intend to do. So there will be enhanced member management and accountability. But I say it that way to say, we are prioritizing right now. And so you're going to see, I think, over the next couple of roadmap, fortnightly roadmap calls here that our priorities begin to evolve in some really interesting and exciting ways. And it's no surprises. We're building Eden. We're building EdenOS. But I'm just really excited about some of the stuff we're looking at. Again, no comment. Demo. And that is a member right there, and he's searching. So that's what I'm going to demo.
Little Sherlock character. Dun, 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 dun.
So this is running in dev mode, so it's going to actually be a little slower. But you can see here we have a new design for our membership slightly, and this is the community page, and it's all here. No more. Well, before this is what we had. Just show this. We had this awkward, like, two groups of members, and new members at the top, and then all members sorted oldest first, with two sets of pagination if there's more than 12 people up here, and it was really kind of confusing. And now we just have this unified list. Newest member first. Those who have open NFT auctions, you see the information up here. Otherwise, you see their joined date, and you scroll. If you scroll really fast, you see a little loading indicator, and here it is, right? And let's search. So if we want to search Brandon. We are.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising.
Dan. It's super fast because all of this data already lives in your browser. We're not making calls, whenever you search to RPC endpoints to cobble together, data from 9 different calls per member card or anything like that. It's all here, right?
This is awesome. I'm so glad we have search. I wanted to say that before I threw anything else in the water, but is it already in your purview to be considering other means of searching. So like location information, search by like all members in this location, and and this would all be voluntary information, that self-reported stuff, but like like a faceted search kind of option for
it's definitely something I think we're going to need, but it's just getting search like this in is going to help.
I don't want to steal your thunder. This is an amazing improvement, and yeah, it's incredibly useful because we've all had to like scroll through every single member trying to find who you're looking for. So this is huge.
Yeah, it's like 80-20 rule. What can we provide, quickly? We're in a refactor phase, so these were just things that were easy to throw in on top of this new refactor that we've wanted for a while. But I think, yeah, as this software continues to mature, you're going to get more powerful filters and searches and all of that. I think when it comes to powerful searching mechanisms, you'll probably see that coming maybe first to the different transaction ledgers that we're dreaming up and things like that. But I'm trying to get the iOS simulator to open up. The spotlight's not finding. Hold on a second.
People are pumped up about member search. You still trying to load the thing?
Yeah, I'll do it this way. This isn't the fun way to do it, but I'll do it this way. All right, and then I was just going to show you guys the version of it for mobile. Right, looks the same way. Simple, but there we go.
Awesome.
So again, that'll be coming out, should be today in production. I mean, honestly, that's all I've got for you guys today.
Anyone with burning questions, now is the time, because I can only keep him distracted for so long, and he's going to want to get back to coding again.
For time dilation discussions.
Yeah, I can only dilate the time for so long. This isn't Inception, but we could try. Where's my stopwatch? Oh, I don't have a chain on it. Damn. Red. It's kind of a nice one.
It is nice. That's cool.
It's not running currently, but let's see here. You covered everything that I might have had a question about, so maybe the community feels similarly. Chris, with any ETA on the other Eden spin-ups?
No ETA right now. We've made ourselves available to help to support the Chinese community as much as possible as they're standing things up on their end. So yeah, I mean, it's on the roadmap. We recognize that it's going to be needed sooner rather than later. And I think that initially it's probably going to be just like it's happening right now, a very kind of ad hoc, one-off setup for different communities. Eventually though, and we've got to figure out where that fits in the roadmap, we do envision this being a much more accessible feature where anybody who wants to spin up an Eden community can, right? And maybe that's not even a blockchain community. Maybe that's some other community out there that doesn't care as much that it's on, that it has blockchain underpinning it or EOS underpinning it. They just want that integrity that provides, right? So we want to see Eden go far and wide, and trying to figure out how we how we best do that.
I think this is, I'm not really sure how to interpret this, but it should be easier to do the export option than search by different fields.
Yeah, we do have a GraphQL interface for this. So you can go to genesis.eden.eoscommunity.org/graphical, GRAPHIQL, and query members however you want. And do searches. It's JSON, but for those who are looking for a way to export, that's the way to do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, this might clock in as our shortest, even with all that discussion of time. We didn't expand time, we contracted it, turns out.
That's efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency at work. Cool. Well, thanks for the questions. Yeah, I'm just as you guys are kicking ass, and love to see the continued unfolding of all these different features. And the refactoring phase, as you say, is kind of more like, how can we retool this, make this better, but we're not necessarily going to get a whole bunch of new features on the plate out of it, apart from search and some other things. So
yeah, any of the lower hanging fruit, you'll see little things like that coming through, just because they become so much easier to do on top of some of these refactors. But I would continue to expect, right, in the next couple of updates that they'll be similar to this. Just lots of technical under the hood setting of the stage for what's next.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Is that the last of the comments, or is there one more? Oh, one more. Will there be some sort of dispute resolution feature?
It's something that we are working on. It's still in the, I'd say, ideation phase. Definition phase is probably a better way to put it. We've got the ideas, lots of interesting ideas around it. At this point, we're trying to refine those and really define what dispute resolution is going to be, and how and when we deliver on that. And right, that's going to be something that evolves over time. I think it'll start out probably more narrowly scoped, but you could see Eden communities providing dispute resolution services to, like as a service to other communities possibly in the future. It could be really interesting, arbitration and all that. So lots of vision.
Lots of work to do. All right, well, good luck with the rest of your day, Brandon. And
Cool.
It's an honor to be the only other Brandon in the community alongside you.
Likewise. Yeah, and thank you all for those of you who tuned in. Appreciate the questions and
bring your curious friends for next week. We'll have Mike Manfredi back on, and who knows what he's gonna share with us. So see you then. See you next Tuesday. And then in a fortnight, back with Fancher. I just wanted to say fortnight. We said it so many times. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.